go from there. All right. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. This is day 2 on your 7-day fast track to learning the Shibboleth program. And what we're going to do tonight, because last night's video was a program overview, in this morning's video in the fast track group was me showing you how to edit your profile and all of those things. So I would love for you guys to really pay close attention to everything that is going on in the fast track group this week. Awesome. Okay, cool. I got those answers. Awesome. Very good. Okay. So tonight we're going to go over some just simple food combining, but I need you to watch last night's video if you didn't, because I will refer back to it a couple of times tonight. Plus, I need you to understand how the whole program works, not just this one component of it. I do this because this one is a pretty big component, and so I do a whole video just on that. So what I'm going to do tonight is I am going to share my screen with you, and we're going to go over some simple food combining. But before I do that, just to kind of introduce myself, I learned about Shibboleth last year, and in about 5 months, I dropped 50 pounds, and it has been such a wonderful lifestyle change for me. Because, you know, before, people say you need to make lifestyle changes, but it wasn't really something that I could keep up with for the rest of my life, and this is. So I'm so very, very thankful about that. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen with you, and please be ready to type and tell me if you can see this screen. Please let me know if you can see this screen that says Fast Track. Okay, so Beverly says yes. Regina says that she doesn't see it. Huh. Okay, Peggy says that she can see it. Regina, I don't know why. It might be something on your end. I apologize for that. Okay, but Cindy can see it too. Okay, so we're going to go forward here. And so basically what we're doing this week is we're just going to go over some very simple food combining. And awesome. Good, Regina. Some simple food combining. The reason that we combine foods is we are trying to control insulin. One of the secrets of Shibboleth is controlling insulin. And we can control insulin by the foods that we choose to either 1, eat, or 2, put together as a plate. So just to kind of refresh, there are 7 different food categories that I want you to learn. Category 1 is a lean protein. Category 2 is a fibrous carb. Category 3 is an energy carb. Category 4 is a protein plus fat. Category 5 is an antioxidant carb or fruit. Category 6 is superfood, and category 7 is shellfish. So we have all of those categories. So basically all whole foods that are approved are divided into those 7 categories. 5 of those categories you can eat by themselves. So there's only 2 that you really have to pay attention to how you are eating them, except for the protein plus fat. There's a little bit of extras with that. So your category 1 lean protein, your category 2 fibrous carb, your category 4 protein plus fat, your category 6 superfood, and your category 7 shellfish, those can all be eaten by themselves. I always come back and say this about the category 4 though. For category 4, optimally, you'll have that with a category 2. And I just say that because if you're making yourself a plate of food, you could put together a 4 and a 2. But if you wake up in the morning and all you've got in your refrigerator is some eggs, make yourself some scrambled eggs, go to the grocery store that day, and it works. So you can have a 4 by itself in a pinch, but optimally you'll put that with a fibrous carb. But when you come talking about these energy carbs, like all potatoes, corn, long grain brown rice, all those kind of things, you must pair those with a lean protein and a fibrous carb, because what's happening is you're allowing the protein, the lean protein and the fibrous carb to neutralize the insulin release that's coming from the category 3 energy carb. And that's the same exact thing with a category 5. If you want to get a category 5, let's just say some fruit, you need to pair it with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. And just one last little thing. When you're eating a protein plus fat, which is your category 4, don't pair it with a 3, which is an energy carb, a 5, which is fruit, or your superfoods. Just don't pair it with that. You don't want to pair anything that brings that has fat in it with something that can bring more of an insulin release. But the reason that you can eat that superfood by itself, even though it brings a little bit more of an insulin release, depending on the item that it is, than the others, is because it's got all the macronutrients in this and it's not as much of an insulin release as the others. Okay, so we're going to have a look at this. And if you'll see right here, what I'm going to do is I am going to read the food choices, because one of the parts of learning this is to familiarize yourself with the foods that are in each category and start writing down the foods that you like that are in those categories, because that's important. In Shibboleth, we don't tell you exactly what to eat. We give you lots of options and there's really endless choices, but you have got to figure out what you like to eat and what you buy regularly and all that good stuff. So I'm going to read them over the first time they appear in this website, but after they appear the second time, I won't reread the list. So category 1, lean protein. You can have 2 to 8 ounces of it, and those are egg whites, all fish, chicken breast, turkey breast, pork tenderloin, boar's head turkey, boar's head chicken breast, boar's head London broil, low-fat cottage cheese, fat-free cottage cheese, Greek plain yogurt, Hebrew National 97% lean beef, frank, and 96% lean ground meat, or 96 or better. So those are some options for a lean protein, and that is just a tiny, tiny list. To see the full list, you go to the food library in your website. Now, if you'll notice here that there is a flame with a plus sign. And basically, just to let you know, just because there's a plus sign, there's no math in Shibboleth. It just means that you're just putting these things together to make your meal. So you can cook this in. These are the approved oils that we say you can use. 100% MCT oil, coconut oil, ghee butter, hemp oil, or PAM, or 0-calorie cooking spray. And your measurement for that is about 1 tablespoon if you're using these other oils. And obviously you just spray your pan with the PAM. Spray your pan with the PAM. So MCT oil, for those of you that don't know yet or didn't hear the video last night, it's extremely important to no longer use canola oil, vegetable oil, olive oil, because those are long chain triglycerides and they take a really long time to burn up in the body. And so they are used as an easy source of energy and your body never gets to stored fat. But if you use MCT oil, it burns up like that. And your body, when it's expending energy, will access the stored fat that is there. And that is exactly what we're trying to get to. And then you'll just see a plus sign and a flame right there. And this is just listing out some condiments. So you could have condiments with a meal to doctor it up, make it taste good. 0-calorie condiments are great. You can also use 15-calorie or less spices and seasonings, salt and pepper, 15-calorie or less coffee creamers, salsa, reduced sugar ketchup, mustard, hot sauce, fat-free, Kraft fat-free mayo. Now, obviously, that is just a tiny, tiny list, again, of condiments. And there is an entire list of condiments in the website. But if you go into the store and you're thinking, I wonder if this barbecue sauce would work. Well, you just need to flip over the bottle and you're going to look at the amount of sugars per serving, and you're going to look at the amount of fat per serving. As long as the item has less than 5 grams of sugar per serving and less than 2 grams of fat per serving, you can use that as a condiment even if it's not in the food library. Because not everything in the world that's ever been made is made into the food library. But if you want it to be added to the food library, you take a picture of the front of the item and the nutrition label and you put it in the Shibboleth Fixed It group. And Kim Shibboleth can look at it and then she can add it to the food library. So our food library grows with members putting things into the Shibboleth Fixed It group and asking Kim Shibboleth about it. And Kim Shibboleth is not me. I go by Kim Danke, but she uses Shibboleth for her last name to do her job, and so do Joni, Missy, and Amy. So if you ever see that, those are your online support team. So the one way to remember the condiments is the word sugar has 5 letters in it. So you're looking for 5 grams of sugar or less, or 2 grams of fat or less in an item. And you just want to make sure that you don't use more than 50 calories of condiments on a meal. It can be more than one condiment. So let's say you're having a 30 calorie piece of cheese, you can have 20 calories of something else that is an approved condiment. So up to 50 calories per condiment for a meal. So right there, it just shows you that you can have a lean protein by itself, cook it up in the right oil, put some condiments on there, and you have an excellent fat-burning meal. So the next thing we're going to look at is shellfish, because that's category 7. Shellfish is actually just a lean protein. It's used the exact same way, but due to biblical reasons and other medical reasons, some people do not want to eat shellfish or can't eat shellfish. So Travis just pulled it off, and that's how it ended up as category 7, because all the other category numbers were taken already. But you can have 2 to 8 ounces of that, and some options are crab, lobster, shrimp, scallops, oysters, mussels, clams. So those are just some choices there. And you'll see that you've got a flame and a plus sign. Cook that up in an approved oil and put on some condiments, and you have an excellent fat burning meal. In this situation, somebody might use shrimp, and maybe you use ghee butter to make it taste like a shrimp scampi. And then we're going to scroll a little bit further here. Now this one is just a little bit different. We've got the lean protein category 1 column that I've already read, and I've already read, oops, I messed this one up. I've got to have them fix that. I'm going to write myself a note. Anyway, we're going to pretend that that cooking oil column says what the other cooking oil columns have already said, okay? And then you've got your condiments there, and it's the same thing listed. But hemp heart flakes are an excellent source of protein and fiber, and so there are hemp products. So here's some choices. You could use hemp hearts, hemp flakes, very sweet hemp flakes, hemp protein powder, and hemp oil. This is really considered almost one of the world's perfect foods because of all of the nutrients in there and the nutritional value all as one group. I mean, all as one food. So it's really, really a very powerful food, the hemp products. So you can utilize that. A lot of people will use hemp flakes in their salads. I've even seen people take an approved cereal and puts the very sweet hemp flakes on their cereal with an approved milk. So you could do that as well. But those are really good for you. So you could utilize all of those. Or take that, you can take that shrimp that we talked about, cook it up in that ghee butter, and put some hemp flakes over it, and you have added some flavor to that. A lot of people put that on chicken too. So then we scroll down again, and basically what I just said, I skipped ahead of myself, is that you can do a category 7 with hemp heart flakes, and I need to fix the oils in that one. And then you've got your condiments. And this, again, it's got your flame and it's got your plus sign. So it means that it's an excellent fat burning meal. One reason this is an excellent fat burning meal is you don't have anything in here that is an easy source of energy, and there is basically no real fat that's going to stay on your body or get stored. So that is why these are excellent fat burning meals. We're going to scroll down again, and we have added, I need to put the flame in there. I had them switch some things in there, and they still need to make some fixes. Sorry about that. Okay, but actually there should be a flame behind this too. This is an excellent fat burning meal. So you take your category 1 lean protein and you cook it up in the right oil, you add some condiments on there, and you put a little side item of a fibrous carb, a category 2 fibrous carb, and you have an excellent fat burning meal. In fact, Travis says it's the fastest fat burning meal. So we have broccoli, asparagus, squash, okra, green leafy vegetables, spinach, cabbage, cucumbers, bell peppers, hot peppers, cauliflower, kraut, dill, pickles. So here's the thing. I hope that you see something on that list that you like, because it would be important. And I know that with me, I'm not a big, huge vegetable fan, but I like enough of them to make it work. And I've been broadening my horizons by looking at the food library and seeing what other options are and trying them. So Shibboleth has definitely broadened my horizons, and I'm thankful about that. Now, in this category 2 fibrous carb column, you'll notice that there's all vegetables pretty much right there. But in Shibboleth, we have some breads that make themselves into this category, and we're going to talk about that in a few minutes. But if you're looking for the fastest fat burning, it would be a category 2 fibrous carb veggie. But you could definitely use a bread if you needed to. But these are really the best for you. Now, all we did in this one is we put a category 7 shellfish with a category 2 fibrous carb, cook it up in the right oil, and put some condiments. And so you could just draw a line. I'm going to have some shrimp and asparagus. I'm going to cook that shrimp up in some MCT oil, and I'm going to put some salt and pepper on there, or whatever else you put on shrimp, and I'm going to have an excellent fat burning meal. You could even throw in some hemp heart flakes in this too. That's possible. Those aren't going to hurt you at all. And as we scroll down here, this one does go to just a plus sign rather than a flame plus sign, but it's still excellent for you. You can eat them by themselves: pintos, black beans, red beans, soybeans, peanut butter, nuts, and seeds. And that's just a small list. This is where your avocados are, Wendy's chili, those kind of things are right there in that group. You can eat them by themselves, but the reason it doesn't have a flame here is because they bring just a little bit more of an insulin release, just a little bit more, because they've got all the macronutrients in them. There's water in them, there's fat in them, there's protein in them, and there's carbs in them. But they have all the macronutrients. So if you're ever wondering why something ended up in the superfood category rather than, let's say, an energy carb or a fibrous carb, it just has all the macronutrients in that. And just to kind of give you a little hint, in this superfood category, your darker beans are in there. They have all the macronutrients. So that's where we got all those beans right there. But if you are doing lighter colored beans, they are going to be your energy carbs, except for a garbanzo bean. A garbanzo bean is a little bit lighter, but its nutritional makeup is that it has all of the macronutrients, so it is a category 6. That's where you'd make your hummus. And you can doctor that up and you can have that. I love black beans. I can just eat some black beans with, I like this seasoning called Herbamare. It's Herbamare, and I just buy it here locally in Marietta, but it's carried lots of places. But I buy it in Marietta at Nature's Corner Market. So it is sold at a lot of like health food stores, but I probably can find it in the regular grocery store too. Okay, so this next one, if you'll look right here, this is showing us a category 6 with a category 2. So you could have your beans, because Travis calls this beans and greens. You can have your beans and your greens together on a plate, doctor it up, and you have an excellent fat burning meal. But you'll notice that there's no MCT oil in this, or the oils right here. You might want to cook that with a 0-calorie cooking spray or something like that. Now, if you're using a recipe and it calls for it, then Kim Shibboleth and the team have just decided that that works in that combination in the recipe. So you could have your 6 and your 2s together. And this one right here shouldn't have a flame on it. The protein plus fat, it's got a plus sign, but no flame. So we're really going to have to fix this up. But if you'll notice, look at there, it says 2 to 6 ounces, whereas the chicken, not the chicken, the lean protein and the shellfish said 2 to 8 ounces. Well, the reason that the ounces go down on this just a little bit is because there's more calories in the fat nutrients than there are in the lean protein nutrients. So we have a little bit less right here. And the reason when this one doesn't have a flame, or shouldn't have a flame behind it, is because there's a little bit of extra fat in there, so there is an opportunity for that to get stored. And it is also an easy source of energy for your body to have. And so it is not as good a fat burning as the others, but it's still excellent fat burning. And I used them all the time in weight loss. So don't worry about that. But I do have to tell you that the others are a better fat burning. But this one's pretty good up there. So whole eggs, all cuts of steak, pork ribs, beef ribs, turkey spam, pulled pork, beef brisket, 93% lean up to 95.9% lean ground meat, and turkey kielbasa, as long as no more than 50% of the calories come from fat. And then we're going to add that to a category 2, and you can use your condiments, and you have a good fat burning meal. Now, you can have a category 4 by itself. Remember, I said that in a pinch, but optimally you would pair it with a category 2. So let's say that you go to Longhorn and you order the classic plate of a steak and a baked potato. That is bad for your health. It is really bad for your health in weight gain, and it's also bad for your health in just not controlling your insulin, which a lot of people do need to do. Whether or not it's for weight loss reasons, they need to control their insulin. So this potato is bringing a huge, huge insulin release. Insulin's job, we call insulin in Shibboleth, we call it the fat bus. Insulin's job is to go around and pick up any fat lipids that are in your body. Well, if you've eaten a steak, which actually is a great protein for you, you've eaten a steak, it's just a little bit fattier than your lean protein and your shellfish, but you paired it with a potato. So the potato is going to go around and seek out that fat and store it. That's its actual job. So that's why I love this program so much. Once I learned that, and I just know that's scientific, and our bodies are very, very scientific. You know that, just don't do that anymore. So when I go to Longhorn, I don't order a potato anymore. I order their broccoli. Their broccoli is delicious. So I order a steak and a broccoli, and I enjoy my meal with everybody else at the table, who's all probably bringing the fat bus, but I'm not, because I know what the fat bus is now. So I wouldn't do that. So let's look right back down here. So right here, the new thing in this row is this column. It's this category 3 energy carb column, and you can have a 1/4 of a cup up to 1/2 a cup. I recommend a 1/4 of a cup when you're in weight loss, but when you get into maintenance, if you want to have a 1/2 a cup of it, you can. Now remember, you are still portion controlling. If you didn't watch the video from last night and don't know the portion control yet, you are going to put your 2 hands together like this. You put your 2 hands together as close, not like this, you know, you're not doing that. Put them together and put it down over your food. As long as you cannot see your food sticking out around your hand, then you have portion controlled. So that's how we portion control in Shibboleth. So remember, even though you're putting more variety on your plate with this row that we're going to look at right here, you still are portion controlling it. It doesn't mean you can eat more. It just means you get more flavors in your mouth, but you're still eating the same amount, the amount underneath your hands. So we've already read over a list of lean proteins. We've already read over a list of category 2 fibrous carbs, and we've already read the condiments. But let's have a look right here at what is in this category 3 column. All potatoes are in that category. Your oatmeal, steel cut oats, weight control oatmeal, long grain brown rice, quinoa, lima beans, peas, tomato, onion, carrots, and then whole wheat pasta or whole grain pasta are in there. So all of your lighter colored beans are here, and all of your peas are here. So they're all in that energy carb category. What I like for people to do when they're first getting started is write down all the foods that you like. Then look them up in the food library and write down next to them what category they are. After you know that, you'll know how to properly combine it. Because if you want to eat an energy carb and you want it to remain a perfect day, you must pair that with a category 1 lean protein and a category 2 fibrous carb. What's happening is you're allowing the protein in the lean protein and the fiber in the fibrous carb to neutralize the insulin release that is going to come from an energy carb. So you just have to put those all together. If you eat an energy carb by itself without pairing it, then you just need to mark that as a holiday in your journal, and the next day go back to perfect days and don't do that. All right, now let's look at the next one. What changes here is the fruit. So fruit is actually very, very good for you, and we don't want to take fruit away from you. In fact, on this program, we do not exclude any macronutrients. We don't exclude any of them. A program that excludes any macronutrient is not a sustainable for life program. Most people are just not willing to give up those certain things for the rest of their life, and it's just not nearly as well rounded when you and plus you get nutrients from some of those things. So fruit is doable. You just have to treat fruit differently in weight loss. When you get into maintenance, which means you have hit your goal weight and you have your victory badge, you may have a serving of fruit as a snack by itself, but that's in maintenance. So right now we're talking weight loss. So if you want to eat some fruit, which I'm not going to read that list because it's all fruit. All fruit is in category 5. If you want something from this list, you must pair it with a category 1 lean protein and a category 2 fibrous carb. And just like with the this one right here, this energy carb, just like that one, you're allowing the protein in the lean protein and the fiber in the fibrous carb to neutralize the insulin release that is going to come from these natural sugars. And fruit, it's good for you. Fruit, we call it an antioxidant carb because antioxidants are good for you. They go around in your body and they pick up free radicals. Free radicals are things that we get in our bodies from pollutions and chemicals and things like that, and they are damaging to the cells. So fruit's actually really, really good for you. But when you are trying to accomplish the goal of weight loss, you need to treat fruit differently. And then when you get to maintenance, you still need to control the amount of fruit that you eat, but we do suggest that you eat it because it's good for you. Also, think about this. Fruit can be used as a condiment. So the condiment rule is you can have up to 50 calories of condiments for every meal if you wanted it. So a palmful of berries, bam, put them in your Wickos 000 yogurt, and you've got some berries in your yogurt, and you used it as your condiment. So you can do that. Now, we've kind of talked about all of those things there, but what's important for me to ask you to do, and one of my assignment posts this week that is in the Shabolis New Member Fast Track group, if you're not a member of that, and if you're on Facebook, please ask to be on that. If you are not on Facebook, these messages come out via email. If you just signed up, if you didn't just sign up, tell us, and if you're on email, if you're on Facebook, I need you to do it through Facebook, okay? But if you do not have Facebook, let me know, and I'll email you the assignments. But I need you to make a list of food that you like that's from the lean protein category and from the fibrous carb category, because that's what I want you to start off with. I want you to start off with 1s plus 2s and MCT, because you're going to have the best results, Now, these are all the combinations, but I'm going to look at some extra things that make this life very sustainable. So category 2 breads. Oh my goodness, I don't ever buy any category 3 breads. There is no reason to have a category 3 bread in your home. There are a lot of category 3 breads in the website. The only one I might ever consider buying would be an Ezekiel bread, because I like Ezekiel bread. But I don't even do that because it will go bad. I'm not going to eat it, so it's going to go bad. But the category 2, the absolute fact that we have breads and bread type items in this category is amazing. The reason that we are able to have these breads in the category 2 fibrous carb column or category is because they respond in your body and they break down in your body more like a green bean than a energy carb. So they break down in your body like a green bean. Isn't that amazing? And it's just because it has enough fiber and carbs in fibrous carbs and protein in the bread. It just has the right nutritional makeup. And so there's loaf bread, there's pita bread, there's lavish bread, which is just like this flat, long bread, and I like it. There's Thomas Light 100-calorie English muffins. There's La Tortilla Factory tortillas. There's Olay Extreme Wellness high fiber tortillas. That's the one I buy. Let's see, Healthy Life bread, Nature's Own double fiber wheat bread. There's a Bran Crisp bread that's really, really crunchy that is in the Shibboleth store online. And then you've got the Healthy Life hot dog buns. And then I found out that I like the Sara Lee 45-calorie delightful multigrain bread. It is delicious. I make a lovely approved grilled cheese with that and enjoy that. So you can lose weight on Shibboleth having approved grilled cheeses and peanut butter and jelly if you wanted it. It is amazing. For the approved grilled cheese, you could use ghee butter to get that butter flavor. And if you're using the fat-free cheese, you could use maybe 4 slices of that to get your enough protein, because you need enough protein in that. And you can have 2 slices of bread. If you're making yourself a peanut butter and jelly, get an approved peanut butter, a sugar-free jelly, you use 2 slices of bread. So this is very economical if that is something that you are concerned about. And that also can feed families for lunches, put them in their lunch boxes, the kids. So some approved sweeteners that you can use are stevia, Splenda, monk fruit, xylitol. There's probably more. My favorite is xylitol. That's what I use in most things. And then approved beverages, water, obviously. You need to get in at least 64 ounces of water to be able to call it a perfect day. If you're not getting in all your water, you can't mark it as a perfect day. That would be a holiday, because you need at least the 64 ounces to call it a perfect day. Your goal is actually a gallon. And if you are working on getting to a gallon of water in a day, you're not thinking about your food. You are hydrating your body and you stay satisfied. Your body is flushing out fat and it's flushing out toxins. It's also metabolizing fat. So water's good for you. You can have other 0-calorie beverages of any type, an approved unsweet tea or approved tea, and you can have coffee, but you want to make sure that you are using an approved sweetener. So we say no more than 15 calories of an approved creamer. If you go into the food library, you can click on creamers and read it. So there's just about a list about this long. You can read those. And if you want to know if your creamer could be approved, just take a picture of the front and the back of it and put it in the Shibboleth Fixed It group. Now, I don't drink coffee, but the thing that I heard that I would do if I was a coffee drinker is I would get a ready-to-drink protein shake in the flavor that I like, and I would use that as my creamer. You are adding a flavor to your coffee, you're getting extra protein in your coffee, and you'd still want to keep that at less than 15 calories or less of creamer. But that's what I would do if I were a coffee drinker. The next thing we're going to look at is some cheese options. Remember, you can have up to 50 calories of condiments if you want to on a meal. And some of the choices might be fat-free feta cheese, Kraft fat-free cheese, Borden fat-free cheese, Cabot extra light cheese, Laura Lynn fat-free cheese, Kroger brand fat-free cheese, and Lifetime fat-free cheese. Travis really recommends this Lifetime fat-free cheese, and I've not found it in any stores, but you can buy it from their website. I love the Borden fat-free cheese. It's really good. It's the singles. I found that if I'm going to eat a fat-free cheese, I want Borden because to me it tastes the best. I don't know what they do to it, but it tastes the best. And then if you're looking for a block cheese, this Cabot extra light cheese, I really, really like it too. So I go ahead and I cut it up into chunks. That would be the 50 calories. And when I make myself a big, giant fibrous carb salad, I'll take that chunk that's already cut up, I shred it, and I have that cheese on top of my salad. I also will take boiled eggs and put that on top of that as if you don't want to do the yolk, which is the fat part, just put a bunch of boiled whites on your salad if you want some extra protein on your salad. And then we're going to look over here at the lean protein milk. You can have 8 up to 16 ounces. A lot of times, as you continue to live this lifestyle, you're going to see things that people are doing on Facebook, and you're going to read different parts of the website, and you're going to learn even more than what you're learning this week because there's so many options. But there's this thing called a perfect pairing. A perfect pairing does not follow the rules, but it has been determined that it also will not hurt you, okay? So sometimes we have to do a perfect pairing to make something turn into a meal replacement. So bear with me here as I get through this. If you are going to have some milk, which is a lean protein, as a component of a meal, you'd want to do 8 ounces of it. But if you're drinking that milk just as a meal itself, you can do up to 16 ounces of that. But if you're doing it as a part of a meal, just do the 8 ounces. Our choices are fat-free Fairlife milk, Kroger Carb Master milk, if you have a Kroger near you, hemp milk, and there are a lot of times people ask me about almond milk. There are some almond milks approved. I would look them up and see how it is suggested that you use them. But they aren't our favorite recommended ones. These are the favorite recommended ones. But let me go back to that perfect pairing. So let's say I'm using a Grab the Gold bar, because a Grab the Gold bar is it's a snack. But if you want to make it part of a meal replacement, you can add it to 8 ounces of fat-free Fairlife or 8 ounces of Kroger Carb Master milk, and that gives it enough protein to make that a meal. So a lot of times for breakfast, I will have a Grab the Gold bar, which, by the way, is an amazing Whole Foods product, and it tastes like those no-bake chocolate oatmeal drop cookies that people made. I love those things. And then there's a chocolate and peanut butter flavor. That's the one I'm talking about. There's also a peanut butter and jelly flavor of it, and it's an excellent item. It's a really cool story too. A 16-year-old developed these for the company. But if you want to eat it as a meal replacement, just add that proper milk to it. And all of that would be in the food library for you to see. So let's scroll down just a little bit more. We have breadings and flours. So a lot of times people will take some chicken and bread it, cook it in some MCT oil, and you have chicken tenders. But we can use coconut flour, Carb Quick flour, Bob's TVP, and almond flour. This Carb Quick flour, I have actually made biscuits with it before and pancakes with it. It is considered a category 2 fibrous carb, which is phenomenal. So whatever you do though, don't use the recipes that are on the Carb Quick box. It needs to be a recipe from the recipe library, because when they put those recipes on the Carb Quick box, they don't take into account everything that our team takes into account when they are putting recipes in the recipe library. And then we can have cereals. The best cereals to start with are Kashi Go Lean Original And that should say K's Natural Cereal. I'm going to have that fixed too. And then high-low nutritious living. So you can have a cup up to 1.5 cups, pair it with this right milk, and you've got cereal. And you're losing weight. Here are some other condiments that are listed right there. I'm not going to read over those, but I am going to talk about these restaurants, okay? Your restaurant guide can be found in your app if you've already downloaded the app. If you haven't, just search for Shibboleth Journal app in your App Store or Google Play, and it's 99 cents, and then you'll sync it with your website, or you can just find the restaurant guide in your website. But what I tell everybody about restaurants is this: you want to make sure that you know how to order that food before you go. Because a lot of times people feel pressure at a fast food restaurant to order fast, and they just get frustrated because they don't know what to order, and then they just order what they've always ordered. Well, if you have looked up ahead of time your favorite restaurants and you scroll through and you see what you can order, you've opened up that item to see how you need to order it, because maybe you order it without their bread, or maybe you I don't know. You have to look and just see the ways that you would have to order that item. Now, when you go to a sit-down restaurant, you have a lot more time to sit there and say, okay, I want to have this steak, and let me see what sides they have. You've got more time to do that. You don't feel as much pressure. But at these fast food restaurants, everybody's about fast, and if there's somebody behind you, tell them to go ahead of you and still do what you have to do to make a good decision. But Chick-fil-A's on there. We've got, you can have 8 to 12 grilled chicken nuggets, or you can have 8 fried nuggets. I do that because I like my fried food. And then you can also do the Chick-fil-A fried filet. You can do the spicy filet. You could do the grilled filet. But instead of getting fries, get the side salad and use the light Italian dressing, okay? So you can do that. At a Mexican restaurant, a bowl of chicken soup, no rice, or 3 soft chicken tacos, but use your own tortilla. At McDonald's, you could have a 1/4 pounder and use your own bread. At Wendy's, you could have a small chili over a side salad, and you're going to find that this is a really, really popular one. Burger King, you can have grilled chicken with a side salad, and so forth. And I'm not going to read all of those because you can read them, and you also need to look up your favorites in the restaurant guide. So I know I've been talking a lot. Let me know if you have any questions, and let me know if you want to see anything on the website right now. Now, if you'll keep in mind that if you're in the Fast Track group, the little videos that I showed you utilize parts of the website. And if you want to see something tonight, right now, I can show you. And does anybody have any questions? All right, Deborah, you've got your hand raised. Deborah, this isn't a meeting, so I don't know. Let's see. Oh, I just let Deborah in to my meeting.
Can you hear me?
Oh my goodness, Deborah, I can hear you. This is awesome. What's your question?
Well, at the heading of your spreadsheet, or the sheet you're just showing us, said tools, a meal planning tool. Is that something we can utilize as well?
Let me see where. Okay. Show me or tell me where.
In the URL, up at the URL, it says meal plan tool.
Yeah, well, okay, so first of all, I am going to, and Regina, you're asking, can I send you slides? First of all, in the Fast Track group and in the Second Chance group, this link is going to be posted there very shortly. But remember, there are some mistakes in there, but they're not bad. I just want to fix them up because I like things to be right. But yes, I'm going to post this very shortly, so you'll have that, Regina. But this meal plan tool, let me show y'all something with this, okay? I'm going to click here. I'm going to go to Shibboleth's website. When you go to the Shibboleth website, if you click right here, do y'all see that where it says resources, foods and recipes, etc.? So you click there, scroll down right here, see right here where it says worksheets? This is really neat. You can make your custom meal plans right here. This is a place where you can keep the lists of foods that you like. So I just hit create. Well, this is actually a sheet where you write down what you currently eat and what you would need to switch it over to. So you write down what you currently eat, and then you can look it up in the food library to what might be the comparable thing. Because a lot of this is really just switching over a product that would be better for you. So maybe right now you eat Texas toast. Well, Texas toast isn't going to be on the program. So you look up and maybe you switch it over to that Sara Lee Delightful. But you can actually type in right here and save these in your account. Is this what you're kind of asking for, Deborah?
It was. I thought we could create our own little boxes like you had on your sheet so that we could just like print it off and then check it off or something like that.
Yeah, so let's look at this. Instead of, let me look at this one. There you go. This is kind of breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You could probably utilize this as put all your lean proteins that you like right there. Put all your fibrous carbs that you like right there. Put all your superfoods that you like right there. Instead of that being breakfast, lunch, and dinner, because see, you can create multiples of these things.
Right.
So,
okay.
Yeah. So once you create these, like let's say for breakfast, I like 2 slices of Sara Lee. I'm gonna just do this quick. Eggs, cheese. I'd write it better than that. But then lunch, we have something else. But then you just hit save. Well, it's requiring that I fill out this. So my favorite meals, and then we'll just have that date in there. Now I'm gonna hit save. Well, you can create as many of those as you need to.
That's nice.
Isn't that awesome? I love that. I'm gonna go back there and click down here one more time. This is new too. This is new. These worksheets are new. Right here, this grocery list meal plans. Let's see what this one does. Oh, that's a good one. Look at that. You get to plan out your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner, if you want a snack and a freebie, and then you just make your grocery list from it.
Perfect.
That's awesome. And then there was one more I wanted to see. This other one is a void replacement worksheet. A void replacement is, let's say that you like Moose Tracks ice cream. Well, you don't want to eat Moose Tracks ice cream anymore. You want to eat like Halo Top or something like that. So what you could do is you can write down the current ice cream, candy, cake, chips that you like. Write those things down, but then do your research in the food library to find what a new product might be that's not going to have a negative impact on your body. And you can make as many of these worksheets as you need to as well.
Great.
Then if you go back here to that one, this will end up being one of your favorite tabs, this one right here. See this void replacement sheet? You can link, you can click there. Let's say that in the past you've liked Chips Ahoy cookies. Well, let's click right there. It says, do not eat it. But then underneath it, it gives you all, well, not all the choices you probably have, but it gives you some of the best choices that you could make instead of the Chips Ahoy. So y'all can utilize all of that. Isn't that neat? Awesome. Well, I hope that you guys enjoyed tonight. I hope that you did. It was fun having somebody come on live with me. Thank you, Deborah. And I will put this video in the Facebook group very shortly. I will also put that link in there with the sheet. And if y'all will, just every single morning when you wake up, go to the Facebook group. Don't count on it to show up in your feed. Go to the Facebook group and search for it because it comes out pretty early. I put it out there about 5:30 in the morning. And you can just watch the video. The video is going to be me showing you how to utilize parts of the website. and it's going to give you what your little assignments are for the day. So I hope that y'all have a great night. You're welcome, Beth. You're welcome, Regina. Thank you guys so much. And I really believe if y'all go ahead and get started, you can lose 7 pounds in 7 days. I know you can do it. Awesome, Deborah. I'm so glad it's helping. Y'all reach out to me, reach out to the team at any time. We are here for you. This is a universal concern. We've all been where you are right now, and we want you to be successful, and we're here to help. Bye.